Salutations, Queen of Shade here. Just checking in with all of you. You know, my grandmother insisted that I take this vacation. She insisted that I take a step back, that I decompress, that I allow myself to rest. But as I was telling her this morning, I can't rest. Not when things like this keep happening to people that I love. And when I say that I love people, I specifically mean my LGBTQIAP plus community. I want to tell you a story. I want to tell you my story. Just parts of it. You know, you always hear me say that I went to Paris and all these different things, and I did. But what you need to understand is the reason why I am so vehemently adamant about helping you guys is because I have seen the worst of the world. I have met men, Black and Latin men, that were gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And behind the scenes, they were ex-slaves to people promising them opportunities. I myself could never bring myself to trade X for an opportunity, but I came pretty damn close. I remember when I was in Paris, it wasn't all roses and gumdrops. I met a man on a website. I forget, I know what it is, but I don't want to call the website. It wasn't Grindr, it wasn't Jack'd, it wasn't none of that. It was one of them older ones. I met him and he lived in France. And I had already determined that I was going to go to France. I had already determined that. We had been talking for a while. He was older than I am. And I asked him if I could come and stay with him. And he said, you know, the French can be extremely ornery when they don't know you and when you don't speak the language. And I remember specifically, he said, I'll shield you while you try to break into the French market as a model. But something happened. And I want to tell you guys about it because it shaped the reason why I'm so vehemently adamant about protecting you guys. I got there, first day, he picked me up from the airport. I caused quite a commotion in the airport because I had on a black catsuit. And I had on sunglasses. And my hair was braided all down my back. I definitely went there to shine. And shine I did. And I remember when I stepped through the gates at Charles de Gaulle, the airport in Paris, well, outside of Paris. And I remember him looking at me through the glass and then looking at people standing next to him and smiling. And I said to him, when I got over there, I went through customs and all, I said, why are you smiling? He said, I'm trying to figure out if you can understand what's going on. I said, look, I don't speak no French. He said, well, it's kind of funny. He said, the people over here are talking about you. He said, they're trying to figure out if you're a male or a female. And I laughed and I smiled and I said, can we go, please? And he said, yes. And he took me to see the city of Paris and he took me home to his house. And we took a bunch of pictures and things like that. And I was so happy to be in France. But I need you to know that nothing comes for free. I wasn't a big X person back then. I was still new to the game at 22. And I had a lot to learn. But this particular man, after we had seen Paris and all, he told me how beautiful I was, and he was beautiful too. And he was very forthcoming with me about his life and things like that. He was much older than I was. But you have to understand something. We all make mistakes. This man was so adamantly enraptured with the way that I looked that the very first night he initiated intercourse, which I declined. And I remember allowing him to perform fellatio on me. And that was fine. That's easy. I'm a guy. That's easy. I have guys do that. I've always had guys do that. I rather enjoy it, so it wasn't a bad thing. That wasn't the bad part. I was consensual about that. But then he wanted to take pictures. He wanted to take pictures. So I was kind of nervous about that, but I let him take the pictures. And then the craziest thing happened. I had a moment of clarity. He went to sleep, and I was still up because I couldn't sleep. And the Spirit of the Lord spoke to me. The divine spoke to me and said, go to his room, go to the computer. Those pictures should have never been taken. You need to get rid of them. And I remember going into his room. He was in a deep sleep. And I sat down at the computer and I erased those pictures. And I erased them off the camera. I'm showing you that people make mistakes. Me in particular. We all do. And I erased them off the camera. And then the next day I woke up. He was standing near my bed and he was like, you deleted the pictures. I said, yeah, I changed my mind. I didn't think that those pictures should be out there. He walked away. He said, okay. You could see he was upset. But he said, okay. And he walked away. Now he went on a trip. Because he was always traveling. He was very wealthy. He went on a trip. Oh, this shirt is mine. Shop now, link in bio. Anyway, crop top too. Anyway, I met another black man who knew him. And this black man came over with friends while I was in his home. And the one was just like searching for stuff. And I'm like, why is he searching for stuff? What is he searching for? He ended up telling me in English that the guy that I was staying with always loved to take photos of black men. And that the reason that he took photos of them was because if they ever became anything big, he could blackmail them. Literally, blackmail them. And I didn't tell him what had happened to me, but I realized that I kind of stepped into a lion's den, and that, thank God, my quick thinking saved me, because today I might not be who I am, because those pictures could have gotten out, but they didn't. What I'm trying to say is, I am aware of what goes on in the entertainment industry. I am aware of the actual favors that are requested by the higher-ups for the young, beautiful black and Latin man. And I want you to understand something. They ain't all feminine like me. They're tall, 6'2", towering, beautiful, 230 pounds, with college degrees, mind you. And they are made to do rather degrading things, like get on their knees to get in fashion shows and other things. This information has always bothered me, and I've always worked so hard because I didn't want my black and Latin brothers to be subjected to that. But how can I crusade for black and Latin men, gay and straight, because this is how it happens, when you guys are signing up for it yourselves? I walked into that Paris situation. I didn't know him from Adam. That was my fault. And sadly, a lot of the things that you guys are being caught up in, a lot of the things that you guys are doing are your fault. Let's start there. You are trading actual favors for opportunities, and you think that they're going to last or pan out, and they never do. They never do. How can I help you guys when you guys are with it? You guys are with it. I can't come in guns blazing, ready to help you out like you're being taken advantage of, because you're not. You are consenting adults. This makes my job very hard because I understand why you consented. Hell, I know why I consented. I needed a place to stay and I needed help. He was wealthy. But I quickly retracted my consent and I never did anything else with him. And I was in his home for nearly 6 months. And that one and done was enough for me. And he was an amazing man. He took care of me and things like that. But listen, people got shit with them. I find it very, very terrible that higher ups, DL men, play with our OF stars, our adult entertainers, our escorts, with this whole idea of using you. I made up in my mind at that day in France that I would not be used. I couldn't come back and be used. I had a gorgeous man once say to me, "You're actually gay," because he was not, and neither were the men in his troupe. He said, "You're actually gay. You need to come to New York and grind." That's what he called it, grind. He said, "You actually like this stuff and you can get us all in." And I had to let him know, I'm not that type of girl or guy. I have seen so many young men fall by the wayside because it never pans out. They promise you all kinds of things because you're the flavor of the month. But 2 years will go by and you will never get the opportunities that you are looking for. Now, am I condemning you for being ex-workers? Hell no. You know this. I've sat down and talked to many of you on my camera. Am I condemning you for being adult film stars? Am I condemning you for being OF stars? No. But if you're going to be an OF star, an escort, an adult entertainer, be that. Be that. Use the money and create something. Start a brick and mortar, something that you can control. Because if you don't, you're going to be passed around. And I made this video because I know a lot of you. And many of you won't say anything, but you're being passed around. But it's your fault. You consented. I can't help you if you consent. Who was going to help me? I consented in Paris. And then I put my foot down. And I never did that again. I came home and I took the low, slow road. It was so hard to build the Queen of Shade brand. But I would rather have built the brand myself than lay on my back and sling some pipe. Because I'm not a bottom. I've bottomed, but it's not my preferred position. So, I don't trade sexual favors for anything. I won't. And I'm going to tell you something else too. There's a reason. I always say this, I'm going to pay escorts. I don't mean my boys. No, those are off limits to me. I mean high-end, very expensive thoroughbred horses. There's a reason why I say that. I will not patronize any of my beautiful men. Their businesses, their escorting abilities, I will not patronize. Do you want to know why? Because I'm a very successful man. My net worth is growing by the day, and I am destined to make a large impact on this world, even though I already have. But with that impact, I am also destined to make a huge financial withdrawal. Destined to have money, baby. And I will not play with you guys, though I love your bodies and things, because I refuse to be the men that you are trying to get away from. I refuse to become the man that you're trying to get the opportunity from and have to give your body to for a piece of an opportunity. I refuse to become the assailant. I refuse to become what's out here. And I made this video to tell you, you gotta find a new way. You gonna escort? Escort. You're going to be an adult entertainer? Be an adult entertainer. You're going to be, an OF star? Be an OF star. And I understand with that comes a lot of escorting and a lot of other things. But babies, let me tell you something. These men that you're playing with, these high-end DL men that you're playing with, that are promising you things, they're never going to come through. So even though you're doing these things, I need you to rethink your strategy. I need you to think about a brick and mortar. I need you to think about a product or a service. Use the money and the free time to start a business. Now, many of my babies have done that. They have businesses. They own businesses today. And it's an amazing thing. You're already entrepreneurs. You already work for yourselves. Cut those men out because they're never going to give you what you want. Entertainment is not for everyone. Some people say to me, "Oh, Queen, you're so magnanimous. You're underrated." No, baby, I haven't paid for mainstream promotion yet because everything like that gets paid for. If you know a star and they get press and publicity, it's because somebody's paying for that. I just haven't paid for that yet. I gotta make the money. So I'm honing my craft and I'm becoming more and more savvy at my mastery of my craft. But I have to stop getting so upset over men that are willing to be ex-slaves to the rich, the famous, and the elite. It's not the way you go about making a fortune. It only happens for a rare few. Oh, guys, you need another way. You need another way. You gotta hatch another plan, babies. Because this way is dangerous. It's dangerous. It's rough out here. And up until this point, I have always supported you guys, and I will continue past this point to support you. But I need you to shift your focus. I need you to shift your agenda. You need to be forming businesses with the money you're making. Yes, you're not working a 9 to 5. You have free time. Yes, you have cash on hand. Yes, you don't have to run off. You can do whatever you want to do. You can sleep till 12 noon. You can do those things. But baby, you're only going to be young and beautiful for a while. You're only going to be young and beautiful for a while. Every single day, some beautiful black and Latin boy turns 18, 19, 20, and 21. There will always be more. And yes, they will be using their bodies as their assets to get ahead. But listen, you may be able to do that for a while, but it's not something that will last. I really do love you guys. I love you guys. This road that I took was hard. It was hard. And I know the roads that you're on are hard. And you guys have college degrees and are still doing this. I told you, many of you are escorts with college degrees. It don't mean anything. Black is black and brown is brown and money is money, and honey, we don't make enough of it. We don't. Not when it comes to supremacists. But we need to understand, baby, it's time to invest in yourself. Put back into yourself. Yeah, you may be paying rent right now and taking vacations and going places. Take less vacations, please. Think about what you do well and start an LLC. I did. Several of them. A lot of you are making your online screen names famous because you're using them and everybody knows who you are by that screen name. Why haven't you trademarked it for $2,000 to use it in entertainment yet? I can't give you all of the answers for free. I charge $250 a call for 60 minutes. But we've got to break this cycle. Because baby, my babies are being unalived. X, substances, rock and roll, they all come with this life. You gotta be a strong cookie. to say no thank you. Alcohol, no thank you. Because literally a lot of you are doing these things so that you can cope with what you have to do behind closed doors to make ends meet. I'm not condemning you. I will always love you. I've talked to so many of you. You're beautiful. I've seen you from head to toe. But I will not become the man that you are trying to escape. I won't do it. I will not rise to a position of power just to use you. I won't do it. But I have to let you know that I know. Because you see, I'm the queen of shade. And I've built that brand from the bottom up. I have a lot of respect from a lot of people that you never see on my camera. And they talk and they tell. They tell on you. And not just to me, to their friends. That's how you get passed around. And everybody's not so nice. A lot of men want to possess you. A lot of men want to own you. A lot of men want to be able to say you're theirs. You're their toy. You're their flavor of the month. But you have to be careful because you could lose your life playing with the wrong people. There are so many stories I could tell you about how some of my boys have called me in the middle of the night crying because they played with the wrong guy and got threatened. And not just them, their family members. You got to be careful of these games. It is not a game. Money is not a game. So this is just me urging you to be careful. And if you are in the business of X work, please be serious about it. Please think about it before you do and before you take on clients. Assess them. And I mean through a long process. Because baby, you can play with the wrong person and it can cost you everything. Youth and beauty, it's what they love. I do too. But at the same time, I refuse to be the men that you're running from. I refuse to be the man that is enslaving you. I won't do it. I learned my lesson pretty quick. After the Paris thing happened, I never did that shit again. You only have to hit me once, Ike. I'm not one of those girls that has to be hit more than once. I understood the first time you hit me, Ike. But I want to let you know something. You're not going to be young and beautiful forever. You're not going to be desired forever. And when that happens, your rate, because all of you have rates, there's a price on everything you do. That rate is going to dwindle. It's going to dwindle. And then you're going to find yourself unable to maintain your lifestyle. And when you do that, enter substance abuse, alcoholism, and so many other things. There are a lot of slippery slopes in our community, and a lot of people don't talk about them. But I have a feeling that we'll all be talking about this very soon. I can't say yet, but I just feel like this is going to splash onto a national and an international stage. The lives that we as black men and brown men live, and what we have to do, sacrifice, give up, barter. I feel like there's an expose coming. It's coming. And I don't want any of you to be on the wrong side of that expose. Be smart, babies, be smart. You've been sleeping with him for 4 years. He's been promising you things for 4 years. He's not going to make good on them. He's just stringing you along. He's just stringing you along. And the only one that doesn't know it is you. Wake up. He's not the one that's going to help you. Newsflash, most people out here in the world won't help you. Most people will only use you for your body, one night with you, to be able to say they had you. And I refuse to be one of those men. I love you all. Play safely out here. And remember, if you have to take substances to cope and get through it, you probably shouldn't be doing it. If you have to be drunk to do it, you probably shouldn't be doing it. If you have to go there mentally, and I'm talking about the hard stuff, to perform, you shouldn't be doing it. Hear my call, because I'm about to go to another level, and I'm going to have real opportunities to offer many of you. But baby, you can't walk on my set inebriated. You can't walk on my set high. You can't walk on my set like that. Because this is my brand and I built it and it's my job and I love it more than I love anything. Anything. I don't want to see it tainted. I don't want it associated with the wrong people. And I want to be able to employ you. But I need you to first understand how to do your job correctly. I could say so much more about this damn industry we call entertainment and its many facets, but there are many dark holes. There are many black holes, and some of the most beautiful Black and Latin men have fallen in those holes and never gotten out. I know too many of you. Too many of you. Baby, think smart. You may be able to do it now while you're young, but you're gonna age. You ain't gonna be able to put your legs behind your head for forever. You ain't gonna be able to bend him over and take a strata chocolata walk up his back forever. We're all older. I'm 41. I'll be 42 in September. You ain't gonna be able to do all that you do now and pull those all-nighters with whatever and Red Bull. You're not gonna be able to do that, baby. You need another strategy. You need another strategy. And I'm here to just tell you, it's time to think about that. Because with what's about to happen in our country and our nation with Project 2025, a lot of our rights are about to be taken. So we're all going to need to reassess what we do for a living. I love you all. This was food for thought and an admonishment. Your daddy / your mommy is letting you know that I know what you're doing. I don't object, but it's not going to pan out the way you want it to. You're not going to get all that he promised, and you're going to be upset about that. And I don't want you abusing yourself or others because you're mad. Because each and every night you have to become a different character in order to perform. Hey, I'm just trying to help you. Just trying to help you. And I thank you for embracing me. I thank you for allowing me to come out of nowhere, become your mommy and your daddy. I thank you for that. I thank you for allowing me to be the wisdom in your life. I thank you for all of you that have used even my mentor service. It ain't cheap. I'm $250 an hour right now. The price hasn't gone up. And you guys have paid that to tell me your deepest, darkest secrets and get my advice. I know a lot. And I know a lot about what's going on out here. But remember, it's not going to last forever. It's not going to last forever. You need another strategy. You need a brick and mortar. Use that money. Start a real business. I love you. Don't say I didn't warn you. Remember, this crop top is available at thequeenofshade.com, link in bio. I have lots of merchandise, lots of ways to make passive income. I'm just looking at all my babies and I'm looking at all the stories that I know that I could never share on camera. But I'm tired of this. Tired of losing you guys. Tired of losing you guys. Because you're trying to cope with trying to find a better way to make money. A way that doesn't require you to sit at a cubicle from 9 to 5. Unalive yourself for somebody else's gain, making somebody else richer. We're all entrepreneurs out this bitch. We are. But you got to make sure you're in a business that's going to make you last. You got to take the money and you got to put it into something else. You got to put it into something else. Because you ain't going to be able to do that for much longer. Or it's going to take a real toll on you. And I want to say something too. Make sure you're all on prep. I'm watching you guys, work. Because I do watch. I'm an avid voyeur. I don't need you to do it in front of me, but I watch through the glass. I'm an avid voyeur, so you guys are doing this bare. So you just make sure you're on prep and DoxyPep, please, so that you can survive your career choice. Please, please. I've been celibate for 12 years, and I'm on prep and DoxyPep. I don't play, because when I do have the itch, I want to be able to scratch it in good conscience. So there's just so much I've always wanted to be able to say to you guys about this, and I just feel like now I can wrap it up. Be careful. Take prep and DoxyPep and think about your longevity, not just today or tomorrow. Think about you 20 years from now, 30 years from now. A lot of us are black and brown. We're going to live a long time. You don't want to be a shell of yourself in your older age. A has-been. A washed up, a this and a that. We already know a lot of us won't have husbands. We too freaky for that, including me. I like too many men at too many times. Can't choose just one. That's me. I'm a collector. But still doesn't mean that I'm not supposed to take care of myself or you guys by educating you. So here I am doing my daddy duties, doing my mommy duties, and letting you know I know what's going on around the world. I know y'all being flown here and flown there and getting vehicles and doing this and doing that. I know. But it's not going to last. It's not going to last. It's not going to last. And then the next flavor will come along and you will be put out to pasture, placed out to pasture, forced to have to slash your rate for an hour with you. I don't want you guys to have to go through that. Have to pull down your price. Have to slash your rate in half. Because you are no longer a hot commodity. Let me go before I say some things I'll regret. I love y'all.
Make sure that you follow the Queen of Shade on all social media platforms. Stay up to date with social media posts, podcast episodes, merchandise drops, and mentoring specials. Serious booking inquiries, use the email provided.
She wins.